Hello, first grade. Today's Monday, our second week here, going into our story of the miraculous journey of Edward Tulane. If you haven't seen any of these yet, back up and watch the first three videos that read the first three chapters of this story, so you're caught up. We're moving on to chapter 4 today. And today, at the end of the story, what you can do is you can go on to Seesaw and you'll make a prediction about what do you think's going to happen in this story. So far, we've been getting to know Edward Tulane, who's a China rabbit, his owner, Abilene, who's a 10, almost 11-year-old girl. We're getting to know her grandmother, Pellegrina, who's kind of a strange old lady. And then her parents are also in it so far. And what we know is that they're going to go on a ship and sail from where they are, which it never officially says where they are, but in my mind, I picture it being America. And they sail to London, England. So, like I was saying, at the end today, if you'd like, you can go on and make a prediction. You can draw a prediction and write a sentence telling what do you think is going to happen in this story. Remember how we make predictions as we think about the title, and we also think about what's happened so far. The title being The Miraculous Journey of Edward Tulane. So I would assume something's going to happen where he has this journey and other things happen. We're moving on to chapter 4. Here's the first picture of chapter 4. There is Edward, all snuggled in. At the end of chapter 3, Pellegrina was starting to tell Abilene and Edward a story. And all we know so far is that it was about a princess. And here's the story. Once there was a princess who was very beautiful. She shone as bright as the stars on a moonless night. But what difference did it make that she was beautiful? None. No difference. Why did it make no difference? Asked Abilene. Because, said Pellegrina, she was a princess who loved no one and cared nothing for love, even though there were many people who loved her. At this point in her story, Pellegrina stopped and looked right at Edward. She stared deep into his painted-on eyes, and again, Edward felt a shiver go through him. And so, said Pellegrina, still staring at Edward, what happened to the princess? Asked Abilene. And so, said Pellegrina, turning back to Abilene, the king, her father, said that the princess must get married, and soon after this, a princess came from a nearby kingdom, and he saw the princess, and immediately he loved her. He gave her a ring of pure gold, he placed it on her finger, he said these words to her, I love you. But do you know what that princess did? Abilene shook her head. She swallowed the ring. She took it from her finger and swallowed it. She said, that is what I think of love. And she ran from the prince. She left the castle and went deep into the woods. And so what? Said Abilene. What happened then? And so the princess became lost in the woods. There's Pellegrina telling the story to Abilene and Edward. She wandered for many days. Finally, she came to a little hut, and she knocked on the door. She said, let me in, I'm cold. There was no answer. She knocked again. She said, let me in, I am hungry. A terrible voice answered her. The voice said, enter if you must. The beautiful princess entered, and she saw a witch sitting at a table, counting pieces of gold. 3,622, said the witch. I am lost, said the beautiful princess. What of it? Said the witch. 3,623. I am hungry, said the princess. Not my concern, said the witch. 3,624. But I am a princess, said the princess. I am a beautiful princess. 3,625, replied the witch. My father, said the princess, is a powerful king. You must help him, or there will be consequences. Consequences, said the witch. She looked up from her gold. She stared at the princess. You dare talk to me about consequences? Very well, then. We will speak of consequences. Tell me the name of the one you love. Love, said the princess. She stamped her foot. Why must everyone speak of love? Whom do you love? Said the witch. You must tell me the name. I love no one, said the princess proudly. You disappoint me, said the witch. She raised her hand and said one word. Farthfiggery! And the beautiful princess was changed into a warthog. What have you done to me? Squealed the princess. Talk to me about consequences now, will ya? Said the witch. And she went back to counting her pieces of gold. 3,626, said the witch, as the warthog princess ran from the hut and out again into the forest. The king's men were in the forest too. And what were they looking for? Well, a beautiful princess. And so when they came upon an ugly warthog, they shot it immediately. Pow! No, said Abilene. Yes, said Pellegrina. The men took the warthog back to the castle, and the cook slid it open, and inside found a ring of pure gold. There were many hungry people in the castle that night, and all of them were waiting to be fed. So the cook put the ring on his finger and finished cooking the warthog. And the ring that the beautiful princess had swallowed shone on the cook's hand as she did her work. The end. The end? Said Abilene indignantly. Yes, said Pellegrina. The end. But it can't be. Why can't it be? Because it came too quickly. Because no one is living happily ever after, that's why. And so, Pellegrina nodded. She was quiet for a minute. But answer me this. How can a story end happily if there is no love? But, well, it is late and you must go to sleep. Pellegrina took Edward from Abilene. She put him in his bed and pulled the sheet up to his whiskers. She leaned close to him. She whispered, You disappoint me. After the old lady left, Edward lay in his small bed and stared up at the ceiling. The story, he thought, had been pointless. But then most stories were. He thought of the princess and how she had become a warthog. How gruesome, how grotesque, what a terrible fate. Edward, said Abilene, I love you. I don't care how old I get. I will always love you. Yes, yes, thought Edward. He continued to stare up at the ceiling. He was agitated for some reason that he didn't know. He wished that Pellegrina had put him on his side so that he could look at the stars. And then he remembered Pellegrina's description of the beautiful princess. She shone as bright as the stars on a moonless night. For some reason, Edward found comfort in these words, and he repeated them to himself. As bright as the stars on a moonless night. As bright as the stars on a moonless night. Over and over, until at last, first light of dawn appeared. Whew, that was was a good chapter. So now you can go on to Seesaw if you'd like. Make a prediction. Just anything that you think might happen in this story. There's a lot going on right now with Pellegrina and Aveline, and they're getting ready to go on a ship. And so you can draw a prediction. You can draw and write a sentence with your prediction, or you can just write a prediction.
I will not say what happens.
My daughter Skylett's sitting beside me, and she loves this book also. And she said she will not tell you what happens. No, she will not.
It's such a good book.
Yeah, she says it's such a good book.
And I'm just saying he goes through a lot.
What? You can say it again.
He goes through like a lot.
Okay. Don't tell any more. All right. See you tomorrow.